Hello, welcome everyone. It's nice to have you. I have Tom with me today.
Hello.
Tom, it's such a pleasure to have you on stream because we've
Yeah, it's my first time on stream ever. Um, and it's cool to be with Daniel.
so
So it
yeah,
should be
everyone
fun.
everyone give him a really warm welcome. And Tom, you might not be able to see the comments, but people are generally saying lots of nice things. Hello from, let's see, we have Cecilia here and
Yeah.
Joaquin and Eddie, Reaper. Lots and lots of people are saying hi. So we like you.
I saw someone saying edge.
Edge,
Maybe
yes.
it's weird.
Can you just you feel that, or do you actually you can see the chat?
No, did you see my list of things that are edge?
I did.
Because I
I
love
did.
edge.
There's too many things that are edge.
Yeah, I think I had like 8 things that are edge something.
So it
So yeah,
is.
it's just something fun.
It is for sure lots of things that are edge, and I think at some point, did I tweet it or just imagine it? That basically Microsoft Edge uses Nuxt for its welcome page, so you could have
Oh,
Microsoft Edge rendering Nuxt Edge rendered on the edge in your browser, and that would probably be too many edges all at
yeah,
once.
I think this is going too far.
So I've somehow persuaded you to come on and I can be your guiding light to convert your website to Nuxt, which honestly
Yeah.
I didn't particularly seek out. You just launched your website, freshly coded, built in Next.js, and you're a bit of an author for Next because you've created Next International, like you internationalizing Next root. So you know what you're doing when it comes to Next.js.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to show us your website?
Yeah, sure. Um, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I think so. It's coming through beautifully for me.
Cool. So I will just refresh because there is an animation at the beginning. I hope you can see it.
Yeah, it's nice.
But if not, you can check it out yourself. So yeah, the domain name is not very good. I might get it later. But yeah, it's very minimal. So here's my name and some basic informations here on projects. And you can basically over everything. And it will have some animations. Like you can really interact with the website and projects. Same small animations and GitHub projects that I contribute or created to.
I did not know that you were a contributor to Million.js. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I was at the beginning. I don't know if I'm still listed in the contributors, but at the beginning I was one of the top contributors. Yeah, seems there.
Oh, that's very cool.
But it's been a while since I haven't done a contribution to this. But it's really, really cool project.
So you must have actually done quite a lot then, if it's been a while since you've contributed and you're still that high up the
Yeah,
contributors list.
yeah, it might be like a year ago. It wasn't like very, very famous.
Yeah, but I see a lot of it these days, and for good reason. I think Aiden and the rest of the team are doing great stuff.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
my website is pretty basic.
Well, I mean, I haven't actually, just to say, like, we're doing this live. You've not done any preparation. I've not done any preparation. We'll
No,
just figure out how it works.
yeah, I just have the documentation open here, but that's it.
So let me see if I can amplify Tom. I'll give him a bit of a volume boost. Could you chat a bit more, Tom? Is this good?
Yeah, hey, is it better now?
I can make it even louder.
Yeah, I have like a professional mic, so it should better work.
Okay, let's try that. If this is too loud or whatever, let me know. But I've given him a 10 decibel boost. Okay, so let's get started. Oh no, look, Tom, how many people were porting your website? So many people were porting your website. So
That's fun.
I don't exactly know how that even how many people that would have been incredible. Okay, so let's like this is beautiful. I could watch this all day. I love the animations. It just makes it
Yeah, I think my favorite one is like the map of Paris.
the map of Paris that just appears. And
Yeah,
I was saying just before we went live that I love the feel the website, like it's very minimal and modern, but it's also quite old. Like it feels like this could be a sort of almost Leonardo da Vinci. Like it's engraved. This is a sort of leather bound book of a website. Oh no,
yeah.
people are complaining you're too loud. Okay.
Oh,
That's just Tom.
sorry.
That's not the audio. That's
I will stop talking.
no. This is me. I amplified that as well. I'll pop it down. So hopefully we're at a
Yeah.
better state. Anyway, keep on telling me, and I can move them up and down. Okay, so let's get started with a new Nuxt project. So you can basically grab the command down there, whatever your preferred package manager is, fire up a terminal and just run that. Oops, no git.
New portfolio.
You don't need to git clone, but just
Oh yeah. PNPM.
ooh, hello. What's that?
Oh
Okay. Do you have Core enabled?
yeah. Oh no. I'm using Proto
What is Proto?
to manage like tools. It allows you to manage PNPM, Node, Go, Rust, and all this kind of stuff.
Do you
the
have
core pack.
so Core should be a binary that's installed when you have Node installed. What version of Node is enabled on your computer? 18.16. But it doesn't have Core. What happens if you run PNPM? That must work as well. So okay, this is sorry about this. I don't want us to get too. I think it will do the same thing because I think it's actually Nuxt is actually relying on Core in the background to do the work, and I have never come across this, but I think it's not going to be. Oh, it did.
I have some files here.
Okay, great. So great. Let's install the dependencies with I guess just PNPM.
Just zoom a bit. Right.
And we can, I guess we need to sort of pull up your existing website and just migrate it across bit by bit. That would probably make sense. Yeah. So,
it is.
Oh, for goodness sake.
So it's using the app router of Node.js 13. Very simple. It has 2 pages. This one is not used. The main page, project page, a layout, and some CSS.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. So it's very basic.
Okay. Great. Can we put the top level layout in first then? So basically, if you have, or we could even let's copy your public files across. You've got a favicon, for example, that's and some other stuff.
So public, yeah, cool.
So just basically straight copy across into public directory.
The favicon too, I think.
Beautiful. Okay. So that's just will work automatically. Okay. What else do we have in your next project? You've got
the first thing is layout.
Okay, great. So, what is Glide? Oh, that's a font.
Gilda.
Gilda. Okay, so let's. I see you have Google Fonts. We can. Let's pull the layout across, I guess, to start with. If you just copy all of that, we'll copy it into app.view, and then we'll make some changes because we won't need all of that. but you can just
Yeah,
paste it in to
so
start with. So the first thing is we won't need HTML or body. Everything that we're going to put here is actually within there, but we will want to do the, so you can leave it in for the moment. We can do it just bit by bit. So the
okay.
first thing is we need that lang attribute on your HTML. So if you below, perfect, great. So if you create a block called script, and it should have an attribute called setup. So script space setup, and
Setup.
then, yeah, perfect.
Yep.
And then you can say use head, and that's a
Oh,
function that gets called with an object, and you can
okay.
pass HTML attrs.
HTML, yeah.
And then you can just say lang en
Oh,
or whatever.
I see.
Great.
Okay.
And then we can, the Gilda class name thing, we can get rid of that. Actually, yeah, just delete your body. And then what we want to do is replace class name with just class.
Yep, makes sense.
And that should be fine. So we now need to create a component called footer. So if you create a new file called components/footer.view,
Components, footer, the view.
and we can go paste the contents of that in there.
I think I should start with the template.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Cool.
I'm not doing a great deal of guidance, am I? I'm just sort of, but yeah, that's
Oh yeah, I
pretty
have
good.
some logic here to change if the current path is the one you are at, and you get this
Makes
time.
sense. Okay, so we've got a nav, and basically
Links.
that get link style thing. What do you want the link to be? Active, I guess. Okay. So what you can,
So it's active when you have the current URL mapping, the current the thing that you pass here.
okay. Okay, if we go back to the Nuxt project, we can get rid of some code then. Basically, change link into Nuxt link. So capital
So
Nuxt,
next
capital
link.
link, exactly.
Okay.
And then you can then pass it an attribute called active class. And active
Oh,
class will be active, I guess.
next link.
And then you can
Yeah,
get
I
rid of
think
the
it's active.
class.
Yeah, up here. So what was the prop?
Just active
Active.
class, I think.
Oh, do I need the column?
No, it doesn't need it can just be like an attribute.
Okay. Active class equal active.
It might be router active class, let me think.
And I think I need like link here.
And basically, you can delete the class name bit. Oh, yeah. As long as the class is just meant to be active. Oh, I see it. Oh, it wants to be link.
Yeah.
So it's true that ViewRouter will add a class by default, but if you want, you can customize what it is. And so active class should probably not be camel case. Just use a dash between active and class. It probably doesn't make a difference, but
Like, is it a dash or?
just active dash class, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have autocomplete on this. I don't know why.
I might be wrong actually about the prop. It's what is it?
Yep.
It could be router active class, router dash active class.
I think we can try to see what it looks like.
Exactly. Are you using Tailwind CSS, by the way, or is this custom CSS?
No.
You love
No.
Tailwind CSS. It's the one thing about you that everyone knows is how much you love
Yeah, but I'm
Tailwind.
using SCSS.
Okay.
It was just easier for me.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get your CSS across then, because this will copy just straight away.
Yeah.
If you grab, I guess, your whole CSS file and just copy it, I tend to put it in a assets directory, but it's up to you. So
Okay.
you can just create another assets directory at the top level and paste the file in there.
And do I need to install another package?
I don't think so.
Because for Nuxt,
Oh yeah, you might.
I have to install Sass.
You might need to do that, actually. That's a good point. You can install just Sass. I guess that's the Node Sass version.
Let's see. Let's launch the server.
What you'll need to do, the CSS won't be injected automatically, but if you go to your Nuxt config, you can add a path. So there's a property there called CSS, and you can,
CSS, yeah.
it's an array, and you can, well, basically that, but instead of CSS main, just pass in style.scss.
And why is all this at the beginning?
The tilde is an alias for your source directory in your project. So it's a way of not having to pass relative paths, but you can specifically pass in there.
Okay, makes sense. Oh,
Okay, we've got some stuff
nice.
coming up.
And yeah, I see this thing at the bottom.
That's the Nuxt DevTools.
It looks amazing. Wow. Yeah, I think we can check this later maybe, but
yeah, it's going to tell you some
it
stuff.
looks amazing, fantastic.
I love it every time.
That's good, yeah.
Okay, so let's see what's next. So the links are working fine. The active class is working fine. So next, I guess we have you don't have any other components. We just need any global layout, and then
yeah, I mean we could extract 2 more components because it's a bit complex here. But this is the only component for now. And yeah, this is the main page.
okay,
So I guess to just
let's start with that then. And now, because we're going to need routing, and right now we don't really have any routing. So if you just create a new folder called pages and an index.view file inside there.
So it's file-based routing.
Yeah. You can take full control if you need to, but yeah, I think this should work fine in your case. So I guess let's just replace all class names with class.
Yep.
And then we probably, I see some maps going on. So those will become v4. So that use as a different syntax for it. So that span, where you have span style, if you do v-4 equals, then pretty much the same, like parenthesis, letter, comma, index, parenthesis.
So do I have to manually write map? Or?
No, you just do, so the bit at the end, yeah, so letter, comma, index, and then you do in Tom.
Oh.
And then you just delete the bit around it, and everything should work fine. And maybe you do of, it might be of Tom. Oh no, we don't have Tom yet. It's giving you a red curly thing because Tom doesn't exist in this context. Yeah. The key, was the key just the index? Because if it was just the index, you don't need an explicit key.
It was the letter on the index.
Oh, I see. I mean, we can pass a key. Personally, I'm not sure if it will make any difference in this case because normally key is for deduplicating across. But I guess Tom is always going to have the same letters in it.
Yeah, and then how do I declare this variable? In a script at the bottom?
Exactly. So if you create another script setup at the bottom, actually, if you want it to be TypeScript, just add another attribute after setup, lang equals quote ts, and then that will it'll make it. Yeah, don't make it TSX. That would be like.
What does that mean?
Inception. I don't know what that would actually do. I think it would mean you could use TSX syntax in the script setup. And actually, I shouldn't tell you this, but you could write everything in TSX. But that would be too easy. That would be too easy.
Yeah.
So make it TS. Make it TS.
Okay, TS for now.
And then you don't need to import much, but if you go back to your next page, basically that stuff. Just paste that in the script setup and it will automatically be exposed to your template. So now Tom is typed for you and so on.
Great.
So the other thing is that where you have the sort of double curly braces in the HTML,
Yeah.
just replace those with quotes. Well, quotes and then like
And
an
then curly
object
braces.
syntax within it. So
Okay.
that, yeah, exactly. The outside curly brace becomes the quote. And then you have to do one more thing, and that is this is now a JavaScript expression. And so you put a colon in front of style. And that says now evaluate this not as a string, but as an expression. So that colon's going to do the magic there. If,
Yeah. Okay, I got
if,
it.
if you don't have it, it becomes a string. If you do have it, it becomes JS expression. And you can use stuff like template literals inside. And you should get full typing for all the possible values that you've got in that style.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. It's a bit disturbing coming from React, but yeah, it's interesting.
Do I?
Then there is this letter stuff.
So
I think I need to.
in that case, exactly, add one more curly brace, and there you go. So, and then basically you do exactly the same thing with the next one. Someone's just asked if I read books. I do read books. I have books behind me, literally behind me. There are books there. So I do read them on occasion.
So exactly the same.
Exactly
So
the
this
same.
is like a for syntax, basically.
Exactly.
In here now. And
30 seconds to not talk after you follow. Are you... What are you saying? You don't want me to say anything? This is painful.
okay.
Cool.
Okay. One thing I have to say is it looks a bit cleaner, I would say, because you don't have like the map above and between. And so you don't need a key.
You don't need one, no. I don't think...
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure you need one in React either. But you're the expert
Yeah, technically
there.
it's better to have a key just to make sure.
Well,
But in
yes.
this case, I guess it's like very small, so probably doesn't do a lot.
Yeah. And you can put a key here as well. So it's, I think, pretty much exactly... I mean, obviously the render is a little bit different, but the principle of keys... like if you install a view linter, the view linter will complain. It will say you need to have a key. I'm just not sure it will make any difference in terms of the actual rendering or optimization of the page. But the lint rule would certainly say you do need it.
Oh,
I think probably we need to go through and comment out the rest
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
code because there's probably some stuff in there that's like,
just want to look what the error looks like.
yeah, it's trying to pass the template and not working, I think. So if
Yeah.
you...
I'm just curious to see the stack trace. Okay, so I don't have get any stack trace.
This is a server rendered error, unfortunately. So it's not on the client side
Okay, yeah,
throwing
makes sense.
the error. If you want to do that, we could, but I guess it's a little frustrating because you have the whole page. You're not going to get the like a partial viewing of the page as you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are saying this is not a real background. This is my house. This is my this is my background. I don't know why you're saying this is not my background.
Okay. So
Okay.
no errors.
Oh no, so nothing is working. So why
Yeah.
is nothing working? Because we actually haven't told Nuxt where to put the page. You have a page, but it could go anywhere. So so this series is the Witcher series. Hey, Enrique, nice to see you. So sorry, Tom. If you go into app.view,
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm very manipulable. People are playing with me. They're playing with my mind is what
Have
they're
the
doing.
view. Yeah.
Instead of hi, put in a new component called Nuxt page.
Next page.
Yep.
So
exactly.
this is like a slot, and it will be injected in here.
Exactly. And so you now should have...
Cool.
That is unbelievable. Is that actually your homepage is done? Like,
Almost.
that's
I'm missing some
beautiful.
icons at the
Oh yeah,
bottom.
there's some more stuff to do. That
I mean,
is,
it already looks great.
I guess that's really to your credit because you built it in CSS. So like that's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just copy it from one to the other. You have assets in the public directory. This is
Do I still
yeah.
need this?
We do unfortunately. Actually,
Okay.
I shipped something in 3.7, which means you might technically not need it, but I don't want to. Yeah, you might technically not need it. Okay, so what do we need to do? Oh, it's complaining. So we need some icons. Now we can probably do those in exactly. So you might, if you're watching it, you probably don't need Shamefully Hoist if you install Vue and Vue Router explicitly. Those are probably the two dependencies that you need to install. Yeah, Reaper, Preact Islands, indeed. One challenge at a time. Okay, so and so just some things. We need to set up Google Fonts for you, and we need to set up these SVGs.
Yeah.
And
Um.
so again, if you go into your components, we can do it in exactly this. Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. These icons are coming from a React package,
okay,
and I don't know
this
if it's available for Vue.
it's actually really probably even simpler. So I use Radix all the time. Do I use Radix? Do they have a view? Do they have view? I think you might be able to grab them off icons, but let me just check.
Is there like a settings icon? No.
So there is a Nuxt icon module that you can use, but what I'm just wanting to check first is if you have you come across icons? So it's let me paste it. It's icones.js.org.
Oh yeah. I think I saw this last time in your stream.
And if you just type in Radix in at the top in search category, there's so many different icon sets. It's often faster. And then you click that.
Oh.
And then you just find the three icons that you want. Because this is such a simple website, I would do this, but you can do it in a different way. And what you want to do is just copy. So it'll say you can copy it. So you can just copy it as a view file. It should say you can copy it as like a component. Just copy it as a view component. And then go into your components directory and call it the same thing exactly. I think it's a GitHub logo icon is what it's called in your file.
Yeah, maybe.
And then just do the same with the other two. There is a Nuxt icon module, by the way, which Sebastian Chopin created, which would be worth checking out because I think it's a really cool thing. But for three icons, I'm not sure I would.
Yeah. Why do I need this?
You don't need it. You can get rid of it if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's easier. So we have GitHub, we have Twitter, Vue.
You have Twitter while this is the logo, eh? So it's
And that's a lot of icons.
yeah, there are a lot. This is a great package, and a couple of other things that I would. Have you come across Iconify?
I'm not sure, maybe, but I forgot.
Iconify is pretty cool. It's basically a way of programmatically doing this, like getting in all of the different. Okay, so those should now be typed. Not that it matters a huge amount. And
So one thing I want to
are they
try,
showing up in your page?
can I can't like control click and go to the components?
Oh, that's interesting. Why aren't they showing up? It's possible. Oh, and also there should be Nuxt links.
Oh yeah. So next link.
It might just be that the types that Volar hasn't refreshed, but it should know about those. And annoyingly, when you're inside of .view file, you can't restart the TS server. You might have to go out into a TS file. So there you go. So it is recognizing them. And I think if you click it, it's going to take you to this intermediate file, and you will annoyingly you'll be able to see what it is. But this is an IDE thing. Like, we need to get better, so because it's just taking you to a type stub. We can actually remove that.
So
Okay,
this
if
is
you want to do that, we can remove it. So if you go into your Nuxt config and you go add a new property called TypeScript, we allow you to customize some things. So you can say shim false, and that will disable the. Oh, I do this all the time. Did you type a real F or did you type a?
I think yeah, it's a real
Oh,
F.
it's just your font. Okay, I all the time to type to. Okay, so that should now, if you click the import in the intermediate file, it should now take you to the actual. Yeah, so click the components GitHub logo icon.view thing. Is that typed?
Yeah, I can control.
You might need to now install, or you might need to, so go to your command palette and say volar, and type volar, and say something like select TypeScript version, maybe? Okay, what is takeover? Basically, we want takeover mode. So takeover mode is basically volar. The only way this works is if volar takes over your, like how TypeScript works, to allow it to go directly to the .view source. So yeah, you may need to install that. I'm sorry, this is a bit of a rabbit hole, but as we seem to have a little bit of extra time, as the migration is going so well, we might as well like.
So,
Yeah, select TypeScript version. Is that going to do it for you? I think it should be able to. Yeah, try use what.
could not load the TypeScript version at this pass.
Oh yes, we don't have TypeScript installed in the project. Someone else, Biscotus, is saying there's Anthony Fu has a better extension that might just do what we want, which is called VS Code Go to Alias. Yeah, that's right. You have to disable the built-in TypeScript plugin in order to make this magic work.
Oh.
Okay, let's try that. Sorry, this is so much going on. Is it going to work?
No.
Is it going to work?
No.
No. How about... Oh, there you go. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, Anthony Fu. He saves the day yet again.
Cool.
Is that literally only 2 stars? Like, as in only 2 ratings on that extension?
Yeah, I don't know how I can add another rating.
But it's true, because basically extensions, you use them, but you always forget to rate them, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know how to start them. Cool. So it works. So what do we need next? Oh, this is the wrong one.
Okay, so you've got some icons. Do we need to get the map working?
I think they are a bit larger.
Maybe. So if you go to the source file, you might have, and maybe a slightly different color.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So basically,
the LinkedIn one isn't the same.
Probably there's a slight difference between the size of the SVG. So if you go to the files that you created, I think by default Icons gives them a height of in this case 1 EM. So that just means it's stylable with, which is actually good. 1 EM is good. I think you do need to have an explicit width and height, but that means you can style them with the font size around them. So if you go into your into your actual page, or yes, indeed, in your style, and you just give it a font size.
Yeah. Size.
That should change them.
It's maybe not the correct place. I don't remember where it is. Total socials. here a SVG and font size.
Oh, someone makes the point that maybe they need the icon class on them. So it might be that you're styling .icon, and maybe they just don't have it. So you can just add the icon class, and then maybe everything will work magically.
Like icon from my CSS.
If no, in the either in index.view or in the so in the SVG or here, either way, it doesn't matter. But you could say class is icon, and that might start applying some styles. It's made it smaller.
It's definitely smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I will do this. And
there's an extra quote.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, so they're the right size.
It's the right size. Cool.
Amazing. Okay.
Starting to look good.
Wait, did the map actually work? Is that pure CSS, that map?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
It's just that I've zoomed a bit, but
okay.
On the more size, it should work. Yeah. And just like an image.
Great. This is extremely cool. So, is there anything more on this page that's not quite working?
Do you have a Nuxt/image stuff?
We do. So if you install a new package,
okay,
and it's going to be at nuxt/image@rc.
Is this a Nuxt module?
It is. So you'll add at nuxt/image to your Nuxt config in the modules array. And that will basically allow you to use Nuxt image. And then you can go back to your index, and instead of just putting image, you can do Nuxt
image
img. Actually, it's just img. Because it's Nuxt img.
Nuxt img. Okay.
And that will it will be better if you give it a height and width, but because then it can optimize. But basically, what it will do is it will generate a source set of different sizes that will be loaded on different devices, and you can pass the sizes prop and tell it like how big those should be. And there are some other nice things that you can do. You can check it out at image.nuxtjs.org if you want to see the.
Okay, so it generated itself a new image, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
Something is wrong here. I should have an icon and some text.
Is there another?
Let's compare. So here you see I have some icons and some text, and I don't care.
And it's in the wrong place on the. It's the wrong place on the page?
So
what's going on?
Oh, because I'm using link. Okay. So it should be a next link. Cool. Oh.
Interesting. Okay. It's appearing in a different place on the page. Is that? Oh no, that's just a responsive thing.
Yeah, I think it's because of the font. I should be able to go from here to here without losing the focus, the oversight. Like this. But here I can't, and I think it's because of the font. Because the font doesn't have the same weight.
Well, now's a good time to actually get the font across because we're not using the font you want yet. So, if you install, there's another Nuxt module for this. There's a, if you actually, let's do this one not through the terminal. Oh, have you already stopped the dev server?
We can do this with like this thing.
Exactly, if you do it in the DevTools.
Yeah.
And I think actually you can see the one modules at the right hand side of your DevTools, and that's also there. So that will show you the
Oh, so
modules
it
you
already
have.
detected that I have this one installed.
That's what we
Wow.
exactly. And you can then install a new one and type Google Fonts, and that's the one we're looking for.
Wow. Install. So this will literally run in more terminal.
It is actually going to be running it, yeah.
Oh,
And then it's going to reload, and now it's installed.
and install.
And your Nuxt
Wow.
config is updated as well. So what you now can do is go into your Nuxt config. We're still going to need to configure which font you want, and and you should find if you just type now a new property called Google Fonts, you can. It'll be an object, and you'll want to. I think it has a property called families.
Family easier.
And I think you could, oh, Milos, that's really kind. And then if you just say, what's the font that you have? Sorry, that's an object as well.
Okay.
And that will be Gilda, is it?
Yeah,
Gilda display. Actually, just copy that whole line there. And it's weight 400 and subsets Latin. So you'll be, we can Gilda display, and it will take an object where weight is 400. Actually, it's in this case it is WGHT. Sorry about that. And then I think WGHT is an array. No, it's not spelled correct. It's an abbreviated. It's WGHT without, and then it's exactly. And I think subsets. And then
number.
I think.
Family weight.
Oh, it's
Because
numbers.
it's a 3.5 number.
Yeah. What else is it complaining about? It wants
Subsets are incompatible. So its subset is wrong.
I think move subsets out of Gilda display and put it at the top. I'm not sure that is right, but try just putting it next to families. I mean, at the same level. Yeah, exactly. I think that should be fine.
And is it like injected automatically?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool.
There you go. So I think personally I would add a couple more options as well. So you can enable download, which means that rather than serving it from the Google Fonts CDN, it will actually include it in your project assets. So there's no benefit to serving it from fonts, and there are privacy disadvantages. So
Cool. So what does it look like?
hey, Foji.
That is pretty okay. And sorry, I'm curious.
You're curious. That's how it works. So this is injected in dev mode. So you can did you see the click to go to? So you can basically click the little target and click any line in your project, and it will take you to the component that is responsible for that line. Wait, yeah. Can you click it?
No.
Maybe is there something overlaying it? So you should be able to.
I have some Z and X stuff, so maybe it's
Yeah.
not working correct.
So yeah, now it seems to you seem to have clicked it somehow. Basically, when you do manage to click that, you will get an overlay over your page that lets you.
Oh, I think it's my browser. I see I don't have the close icon here, and it's a bug in Arc.
Ooh, interesting.
And yeah, I have no idea. Maybe Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Maybe restart that tab.
Yeah, cool. So now I see. Oh, this is cool.
So obviously it makes much less difference to you because you know everything because we've just implemented it. But in a bigger project, it might be more useful to be able to click to go to a different bit of a site or figure out what component is responsible. Okay, so yeah, we've got a 404 because we don't have that. So let's make projects.
Let's copy it. And I guess I'll just need to add it here.
Yeah.
So project.view.
Yeah, or is it plural? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. Projects, yeah, plural.
Beautiful. Okay. So it looks like you've got a sub component called project.
Yeah.
No, project card. And you can do that in a couple of different ways. So yeah, we can make that a component of its own. And then
oh shit. Script. So I guess I'll just move everything inside the script.
yeah, that's the thing to do to start with. I think we can actually maybe even optimize this in other ways, but yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, so metadata. So this is a Next.js 13 specific thing.
Okay.
So it's very similar to what was there before. Basically injects a meta tag description.
If you copy that object, that metadata object, and we'll go into script setup and do use SEO meta.
SEO meta.
And then just paste the object there. There you go. Cool. And that should do what you would expect. And then what else do we need to do? So yeah, we can make that a v4 and.
So I have this component project card. So you mentioned we have many ways to do this.
Probably what I would do is just create a component like footer called project card, and just paste the project card in there.
Complete project card. So next link again.
It looks like maybe some of that is not needed for. So yeah, let's just.
This goes here.
I love it. You're basically. I'm not necessary at this point. I'm just watching Tom do this.
No, because I need to like move this stuff before, and yeah, it just I remember how to do this.
Yeah.
Because we did just before. So do I need to type the props?
Yes, you can. So in the way that you do it in Vue is you say define props.
Define.
And then it takes a generic, which is the project card props. And so you can either do it inline or you can do it like you've done it. Exactly, yeah, we need that. When you're using an import, so it looks like we have the shared type project, which is used here, and it's also used in projects too, because that's where the data is. I think it probably makes sense to extract that into a different file and import it into both of them. But
so where should I put it?
I would create a folder called, normally what I would do is I would put it where the data is. So I would almost think that all the projects that you have could be data. Like this is totally optional. Like the Nuxt doesn't care what you do with this. You could create a folder called types and stick it in there. You could create a folder and put the data in there. Don't know what you prefer. The simplest thing is to create a folder
And I
called
just
types.
create one file like this.
Exactly, and then we'll do the same with.
Yeah, that's the one. And now, how do I import stuff?
Yeah. So
Just right
in
here.
this case, yeah, perfect.
Okay. And I can also import it here. Yeah. Cool. And probably remove this type. Okay, so now I get a type error. Hey, type string is this multi-type project. Makes sense.
Put the colon in front of project.
So what is the syntax?
The issue, it's
yeah.
the colon in front of project makes it into a JavaScript expression, and then just pass, and then instead of the curly braces, use quotes.
Yeah, and I will need to v4 again, I think.
Yeah, v4 project comma index in projects.
Project in projects. And I can remove the key and animation delay.
That will be a prop as well, so you'll use a colon in front of animation delay, and you can convert it into kebab case too. Beautiful.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
so prop
the prop is typed
case.
for you. And good stuff. Okay. So then this is similar.
So here, yeah, I have a condition here. If the project is deprecated, I add this class.
Vue does pretty much, so you're going to like this, I think. So change that to class, but put a colon in front of it because it's going to be dynamic. And then you can pass an object in this case. And the key of the object is the class, deprecated. And then you can basically just say project.deprecated.
Oh.
And then that is going to sort of dynamically toggle it on and off based on that. And then project is always going to be passed, so you can just create a separate class without the binding and just say project. There are more things. You can also pass an array into class, and there's quite a lot you can do in class and style bindings. So they're very, very flexible. So yeah, so that's fine, but just put the colon in front of style. And
I keep forgetting adding a colon.
I'm sorry about that. And then href will need to be also colon and quotes instead of curly braces. And what else? Oh, the single curly, the project.name below it.
I think I have some variables here.
In this case, you are trying to access project in your script setup, which is fine. But where we define the props up there, say const props equals define props.
Oh, okay.
And then you can access project from props.project.
Can I like destructure it here?
You can, but it's advised not to because it means that it will become unreactive. In this case, it actually doesn't matter because you're not changing them. But in general, it's better to access it as props.project because conceivably.
Yeah, because I think it's a proxy behind.
Yes, it is. So it's a reactive object, and so it detects. Now there is now an option in Vue that lets you destructure props and have them remain reactive. So it just compiles them back again behind the scenes.
Okay.
So we could enable that if we wanted.
just to be sure.
But this is safe. Okay, just for that one, in a template, like in HTML, yeah, you add the second brace. And then instead of this ternary, you just use something called a v-if. So do Nuxt link space v-if equals show GitHub.
Show GitHub.
Welcome, Heb.
So again, this is like a JavaScript expression.
Exactly. So that will take care of making sure, it doesn't put a 0 or a false in the template or something like that.
Yeah. So I can do project.not here, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's funny because we remove lines.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see that, like the comparison. And then
Yeah.
project description. Yeah, exactly. Some more braces down there.
Yeah, same here. Okay, I think we don't have any more errors here.
The href, I think, for the Nuxt link needs to be
Oh, yeah. And
beautiful.
quotes here.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
And that all looks good to me. So you
Let's
might
see.
refresh the page. I think there's some things maybe we need to fix, but the big picture seems right. Oh, class name should be class. I think that might be.
Oh, correct. Class name, another one here. Okay.
What's going on? So the weird thing is some of them look fine.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Title container.
Okay, so let's just have target, href, class. It all seems right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems correct.
What about where it's being used? Is there anything there that's not right? Class name. We want class.
Oh. Yeah. Do I need to refresh?
You can try refreshing if that doesn't fix it. Doesn't seem right.
Inversion completed but contained mismatch.
Ah, okay. Let's investigate that. Why would that be? Oh, Joaquin amazingly is debugging. He's saying that in Project Card, we have a binding missing.
Where?
So I'm looking for it. I can't see it. What is show GitHub? Where is that? How is that evaluated?
It's here at the bottom.
Ah, okay.
Basically comparing the two links.
So I think... So one thing about this is that we can... you can try this. So make show GitHub equals computed. So computed is a method. So you'll say const show GitHub equals computed, and then pass in an inline function, which is going to be that, except instead of comparing that, do get main link props project doesn't equal get GitHub link props project. So like move all of the computation in that function, and it will actually be just as performant. It's not going to.
Yeah. So I need to move this code here.
And then that. I think that. Okay, now what's this? It's saying there's some kind of.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Kind of mismatch between the server rendered and the client.
But the HTML here is definitely wrong.
Do we have a link inside a link? Any chance?
Yeah.
So we have a link and a link. Okay, so that's the issue.
Oh,
so basically,
you can do this.
So what is the link? It's.
So let me just show you on the website. So the first link is the card itself. So you can click on the card, and then you can click on the icon here,
Yeah.
and it's another link.
So what's happening is because that's not valid HTML, and the browser,
Yeah.
when it hits the second link. Now, I don't know why this is working fine on your current website though, because presumably the same thing must happen.
I think it shows, it shows a warning. But I
Okay.
choose to ignore it because I wanted to have two
You don't have
links.
to do that. So this is what I would do. In this kind of context, I'm guessing probably React just says, "Hey, I'm completely taking over and I'm rebuilding this from scratch."
Yeah.
And Vue doesn't do that. Vue tries to match more, so it basically means that this is more of a fatal error on Vue than it is on React. So what I would tend to do is I would add I would move the GitHub logo outside of the other link, and then use like position absolute to move it back in. So I would basically convert it still needs a container around them both that has position relative set, and it might be that effectively it has that container has all of the classes of that you currently have to the top Nuxt link, and then so I would, the project deprecated and the class project and probably the style as well. I would stick, or it's totally up to you. You go for it.
Yeah. So the structure would look like something like this, with a container above the tool. Okay, so this looks better.
So we still need to sort of give it like top and right absolute values.
Yep. So it's inside projects. It's kind of messy.
Yeah.
It's CSS.
Oh no,
I mean,
no
it's
criticism of your CSS.
No, it's fine. It's intentional. So project container should probably be position relative, and inside of it we have GitHub icon. Oh, where was I? Here. And GitHub icon position absolute. Top 0, right 0. Okay. And I just need to find a good position. So let's see. Okay, 16.
We also somehow need to figure out the contributor badge. It might be, for example, that anyway, this is a CSS issue. You might even do it the other way around, where you keep the existing layout, so you're not positioning absolute anything, except the link. So like what you do, like sometimes what I would do is basically you have a link which is semantically smaller, and then you basically move it out so it takes up more space than it needs, and you basically fill the container around it. So I've seen that done quite well. So that means you don't have to change the structure of your HTML. What you effectively do is you insert, so rather than move the GitHub icon and then absolutely position it, you add the link and absolutely position that. So it's sort of behind the thing.
So basically this thing should be like width, max width.
Yeah, so you could make, you can basically add a link with almost no content even, so that it's not affecting the visuals, and you basically give it, again, you make it absolute and you give it top 0, right 0, bottom 0, left 0, and it basically fills the entire container as a background.
Yeah, but I think it might look better if we just invert the two. Okay. Like contributor and GitHub icon.
Yeah, that's also perfectly good.
Yeah, but it's like a CSS thing. I don't know if you want to do this on stream.
Up to you. Like it's people are comment. They're like they would use on click. I would never use on click for a link. So
Oh yeah, no, don't want to do this neither. Um,
we all have
but I
such
think
strong opinions, don't we? Sort of like this is
yeah. So I think it should be just easier to just replace this thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good link. Someone's sharing. I think they're showing the same technique that I've just described. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think both are fine.
Yeah, that's what they're suggesting.
Yep. And it has a wrong color. So probably because you're here. Should be here. Cool.
Cool.
Yep, looks great.
Good stuff. Okay, so we have. What else is there to do? Like, is there any? I think there's maybe some more metadata. I think we did it for one page, maybe the projects page, but not for the index. I don't
So
think we put
index,
any head, like
yeah, we
title
don't
or
have set up
description there.
anything. And yeah, we have some metadata.
He's using
So
everyone who's asking.
yeah,
And it's used SEO meta.
SEO meta. Thanks.
Great. So that should now, display your title in the sidebar.
Yep, title. Cool.
If you change
see
pages,
here.
it should update to projects.
Cool.
Great.
Nice.
Okay. So, what else should we do? Like we could optimize it a bit. Because some of this, I think, now, how much of this is JavaScript? How much of this is just HTML and CSS? Like at the end of the day?
Yeah, a lot. A lot. Basically, this is JavaScript for interaction, and everything is like CSS animations.
Yeah. So basically, it's the client-side routing, which is JavaScript, and the rest is just like HTML and CSS. Yeah. So it would be possible, I think, to optimize that a little bit. So we have, for example, your projects are inlined in the JavaScript, and probably we could, because we're just importing the projects, or we've actually just inlined. Actually, I mean, it doesn't make much difference. It's at this scale. But we could make it data fetched. We could put it in a server endpoint where you like hit an API and it gives you your project back.
Yeah. At some point, I wanted to fetch this from GitHub.
Okay.
Autofill the description and all of this stuff.
Okay. Well then,
so I think we can do this.
Okay. So if you go into that server directory and create a new folder inside it, we can call it API. You can also create a roots folder. But the API folder basically gets turned into a root prefix with API. That's all. So you could call this one projects.ts or projects.get.ts or whatever. And
so does that mean
if you add a .get, it will only be accessible on the get method. Okay. But if it doesn't have
it will be accessible everywhere, like with every method.
Yeah. And then it has a default export. So export default define event handler. And then it takes an inline function, which is it gets an event and then it returns something. In this case, you probably don't need the event, but you can have it. And basically, you could start by just returning that list of projects. So you don't need to return a response. In fact, it's better if you don't just return the array.
Okay.
I say it's better if you don't, as in our type end-to-end type inference works by you just returning the value. You can create a new response, but that's more for like
if I want to static code differently.
yeah. So this is good, and yeah, you can import your types, and they will get pulled across. And then in here, in your front end, in that projects.view file, we can now use a data fetching compose. Yeah, go for it. Wait, you need to export default, the event handler.
Of course. Here, export default.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
There you go.
Nice. That was easy.
So then in your projects.view, you can get rid of that and instead say, we use a data fetcher called useFetch. It just wraps the fetch function. And you can pass it a string of the path. So the string should be API projects.
Yeah, so this is cool.
Yeah. And then you can destructure the response. So const curly data. And make it, projects. That should do it.
So I can remove this here.
So you should still have typing. So you should be able to hover over projects and see that it's going to be project.
It's a ref of serialized object of project.
So what that does is it strips out things that are not serializable. So if you had like functions or something like that, it would remove them and it would serialize dates to strings and things like that.
Yeah, this is scary. Cool. So nice. And so is it like a client-side fetch or is it done in the backend?
Is what?
The use fetch.
So use fetch. When on the first render, on the first, you shouldn't see it in the console, right? It's not performed a request. But if you go start on home and then move to projects, it will perform a request. So basically, it's on the initial render, the fetch is synchronous async, but it's like within the same call. So it doesn't hit the network layer, but then on a client-side navigation, it will fetch the JSON.
That's smart.
So that's quite nice and sort of minimal.
Cool.
And you've got your data there, which means you could easily add in a step where you do some fetching from GitHub and you do it in your server handler. And if you do that, you probably want to cache it. So if you were, I don't know where you want to deploy this, but
currently it's deployed on Vercel because Next 13 is a bit complex to deploy on Lagan. So I had to deploy it on Vercel.
So Lagan is obviously an option here, right?
Yeah, we can do this.
So I only have one question about whether or not it's going to work on Lagan, and that's Nuxt image, because we use sharp to transform the image. And so if that's the case, we can swap it out, but we can always try to start with. So if you want to build it for Lagan, we can pass, just to test it locally, we do nitro _ preset equals Lagan. That actually.
It was already in my in my story. Cool. So.
Okay. So. Oops. I was intending to reply, but I've pinned the message.
Let's see if it works, but it should work. Yeah, started successfully. Oh.
It might be this Nuxt image thing.
Yeah, I have no
Oh,
idea what this is.
that's actually different. What is that? So it's obviously it's some kind of import. It probably is a dynamic import. It's probably not. It might not be a Lego
Dynamic
thing.
import should be inline
Yeah,
because everything is bundled into a single file.
yeah. Biscoitos, thank you. Okay, so that's such a pain. Let's just disable Nuxt image because that's my guess.
Yeah.
And all that we need to do, actually, I think, yeah, let's disable Nuxt image and let's, we just have to replace that one place where we have Nuxt image with img, but it
So I just
otherwise
remove
doesn't
it from
change the
here.
code.
And
Actually, we can do one more thing. Don't disable Nuxt image. You can leave the
okay.
module, but instead try this. Try creating a new key. Oh no, let's disable it to start with, just as a debugging step. But if that solves it, then there's something else we can try.
Just making sure it still works.
Foji, the what is adding, it's not actually adding it to the client, it's only adding it to the server. Because what it's doing is it's adding sharp, which is making a transform step. So it actually needs image processing libraries. If you use a third-party library, like if you're deploying to Vercel and you have Vercel images, or you have Cloudinary or something else, then it shouldn't add that. That's only if you were using IPX. Rats! Okay, well, it's not next image. What could be going wrong?
Yeah, this is hard to debug.
It's hard to debug.
Can try to see the line. Go to line. What?
Maybe it's line 1 and that's the character. But that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a single line.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I know. I know. Basically, so this is the first bundle generated by Nuxt, and Lagan does another bundle on top of it, just to make sure everything is like on a single file.
Yeah.
So should be able to see the output. And
Heb is quite right. We can turn off minification if that helps at all.
so it breaks here. Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
Interesting. Well, this might actually be a Nuxt issue that we have to solve with Legon. I haven't tried it since the release yesterday, or a couple of days ago. But basically what's happening is that we're importing from a client manifest file. And sometimes we have this issue where when we do dynamic imports in non-node run, and inline them, there's a different handling, different behavior for default exports. So
Yeah, that's strange.
that should not be in the bundle. That is should be dev mode only.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the latest version of Nuxt. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. We can use Vassal.
This is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it's working here.
Because yeah, that's let me see if I can fire up Nuxt. Code base.
Let's see if it works on Vassal.
Okay, good call.
So portfolio, I think. Inspect.
Vercel might complain about your image if you're still using Nuxt image, because they want explicit height and width on all images in order to work with their image transform pipeline.
Oh yeah. I need to update the settings.
It's running a
Use
Nuxt build.
Next instead of Next. Save.
Is there any chance, I wonder about the Legon thing, that somehow the node environment is fixed? Oh, wait. Did you have the development server still running in the background when you built the app for Legon?
Yeah.
That's it.
What?
Because basically, we need to change this because at the moment it shares the same server. So, so basically, if you if you kill the development server and
What?
rebuild for Legon, let's give that a try. Because
Okay.
that's why we have had the development Vite node thing in, because probably what, yeah. Let's give it a try.
Okay, that's strange. Let's see if it works.
We do plan to change this, by the way. Is it running?
I don't know. I guess I can just render.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go. It's fine. Nothing the matter
Okay.
with Nuxt and Legon.
No opacity thing, but yeah. Cool.
Okay.
So, so we should be able to deploy this thing.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Yeah. So I can deploy the output. Just took a bit of a second.
That was a weird bug, though. I'm glad we.
Well, we selected the wrong organization. So Tom, no portfolio, uploading files, and
Deployment not found.
So this might be a bug with Dragon. Because it should work. I think I can fix it real quick.
Move the terminal out of the view. I know the
Yeah.
feeling. Oh goodness, the last stream I was on, I repeatedly put my .env secrets in the public domain. It was terrible. Thank goodness. Everyone watching my stream was above board and didn't immediately destroy me. But
It should work. It should work. But it might already work for some of you because there are multiple instances in the world.
so it's portfolio.legon or portfolio.legon.app or dev.
The dev.
Oh yeah, you've posted. I'm getting not found as well. I wonder, could that be an error in the Nuxt function? Is it possible that might give a 404?
Yeah, it still doesn't work after my fix.
The one thing that makes me think that it's not that is that it does in fact work locally when previewing it.
Yeah, it's like
Other people can see it. They're getting it. It's coming through okay for them.
yeah, it's strange. I don't know why I'm getting this error. Oh, I'm meeting Warsaw. So maybe I should just restart this one.
To be fair, I have never had a problem with a Lakeon deployment recently. Like
Yeah,
it's
because basically it's deployed to multiple regions, and here I don't know why I'm hitting Warsaw, but sometimes the deployment don't work. Depending on the region, it might work or not.
I seem to be hitting London EU West, and it's giving me a 404 there as well. Is it just sort of partial deployment? Because you just deployed it once, and this was the first time.
Basically it's like when you deploy it, it's like a pub sub thing, so it broadcasts to other regions, and sometimes it just doesn't work between regions. So some regions get deployed and others don't. So it should be
Oh,
I will restart every region. It should be easier. But it's working in some regions. So yeah, here we go. And yeah, no, I'm in Paris. Cool.
so nice. What's that? Oh, that's
Is
weird.
that so? It failed with a strange error. But I guess we don't care. Because we deploy on Lagan.
Lagon is working fine, right? That's interesting. I will actually need to figure out if there's an issue there, but
Yeah, but the dev server thing was strange.
oh, other network. That's network.
Yeah, it was when I was building with the dev server.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Cool. This is great.
And
Okay.
maybe you can try with Nuxt image.
We can. Yeah, we should try that. Yeah, let's give it a go.
Because it used at runtime, right?
So, yeah, that's the thing. So, like at runtime, it's basically that Paris.jpg gets turned. I mean, the thing is, actually, with your site, we should pre-render it. So this is actually a bug that we've already fixed, but we haven't released it. So
Good.
all this is doing is turning Nuxt image off because it's a non-node environment. So it basically won't do anything. And if you were to go into your Nuxt config and add a new, and you would say provider none under your image options, it would work again. But the thing is, it would also not transform the image. But what we want to do is transform it at build time only. And I actually have you would set the options with a new property in your Nuxt config called image.
Oh, okay.
And it would take an object, and then you could say, provider none, or you could pick any other provider that exists, and there are loads of them. So if you wanted to transform the image, you could use, Cloudinary or Image Kit, or there are lots of them, and they would work fine with Lakeon. But specifically, Sharp is node only, and that is something that we do want to sort of figure out. So that should load fine, but it's not transforming the image. So like a lot of the benefits you get from Nuxt image are gone.
Okay.
It's just I would not use it with none.
Yeah. Just without this image instead. Cool. Is there anything else that we can do to improve?
Do to improve it. So it's possible that we could pull some of that into server components. So that you don't have to. So that we can reduce some JavaScript on the client, I guess. And that would work quite well because your pages basically are not interactive in the sense of they're not reactive to changes in state. They just are, links and SVGs and CSS. So what you can do, and there's one more thing. We can decrease your layout shift with the font. But to
Oh, yeah.
start with, if we were to take like your projects page, if you just drag it into components. Oh, and Heb is saying we can pre-render the site. So we can do these bit by bit. So yeah, if you add a nitro, so nitro, and pass some options and say pre-render, and pass an object, and it should say crawl links true, and roots, and you can just pass the index, and it will go to projects automatically.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that
So it
that
will
should be
discover
good.
automatically the project page.
Yeah. So that will basically mean there won't be runtime requests to your. In fact, in your case, you don't need a server runtime at all, technically, like because everything is static, and you could actually just tell Nitro that. You could say Nitro alongside pre-render. You could just say static true, and that way it won't even output a function. It will just output the files. So that should be. I don't know how that will work with Legon actually. Does Legon? We should test.
I just run build without specifying the adapter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
So yeah, it's only a public directory. Okay.
So that would basically
Payload.
be like self-contained.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, we have the font downloaded locally. Cool.
then let's see. We could. I guess we do have the API projects root. We could give it some caching if we wanted. So you can instead of define event handler, export define cached event handler.
Define cached. Okay.
And then the second thing that you pass is an object with some cache options. So you can say max age or SWR is the simplest one to implement because you could just say like SWR. I think that should probably be fine. But there are different ways of caching. So one would cache like within the isolate, which might not have a lot of effect. But another you could add header, like caching headers that will just use the browser's cache. So there's different things that you can do.
Yeah, a lot of options to choose.
And that will just sort of automatically cache that route for you. Should do. Oh, that's probably just the loading screen on the dev server.
So I just want to see the headers, cache control. Cool. Nice.
So what else could we do? We could, server components. So basically converting that, your site to use server components should be pretty straightforward if you want to try.
Yep, sure.
You're like, I thought it was done. Oh, Daniel, why are you doing this? And server components actually don't make a huge, anyway, I would probably be with Lighthouse checking like what are the things I can improve, what are the things I want to, and actually be a bit driven by that. But for example, if you drag your index and projects, I plan, by the way, to support a .server suffix for pages. So you don't have to do anything. You just add a suffix and it would automatically turn it into a server page. But right now it's a little bit more complex, slightly. If you drag the page into your components folder and give it a name, or copy the contents, and basically we need the page still in pages, and then we need another one in the components folder. So you can call it like index page or something. Probably, yeah. Perfect. And then give that a suffix. So make it index page.server.view, and then projects page.server.view. And then go back into your pages and just replace all the contents of the template with index page. And then you can do the same in the other one.
Should I remove this one?
You could use SEO meta there. It doesn't, I think it should work fine either way. But
oh yeah, and so I can remove it here. And projects, it's projects page. And we can move this. And let's see.
One more thing. You now need to go into your Nuxt config and enable server components.
Oh, okay. Because it's like
it's disabled right now. So it's an experimental option. So say experimental, and then again, that's an object, and you can say server components true inside there, or component islands true inside there.
Okay.
Okay. So you've just converted your site to use server components. So there's no JavaScript for the home or projects pages, but give client-side navigation a try. So try clicking onto projects.
Yeah, I think it's because it's in the other stuff.
Oh, what's the matter? Oh, dev server. That's true. No, dev server uses components as well. So it's not. It is fully server.
Okay. And yeah, still works.
So what will happen? I mean,
like this thing with the icon.
Someone said that. So I bet the. Let me have a look. I would guess that the Radix UI, the Radix React icons probably had another class applied to them that was being used to give it some kind of transition, but it's not. It wasn't exposed previously, so we added the icon class. But I bet maybe there's another class or some other CSS that was applied. This is not the kind of thing that.
I think it was because it was inside project before.
Oh,
and now it's inside project container.
Makes sense.
So yeah, the opacity is here. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I just need to move the transition animation to project container. Yeah. And also the style to delay animation.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, it works fine now. Nice.
Cool. So I think if you were to build that site now, what will happen? Meanwhile, at the same time, Reaper has been through and rewritten your website entirely server-side in Nitro. No front-end framework.
Yeah. So in the future, you plan to move from pages like .server.view.
Yeah.
Instead of having to import manually the thing.
Yeah. And basically, because server components are components, they're not. But yes, all that we all do under the hood is exactly the same thing. But but it will make life easier. We also plan to support other kinds of things in your pages directory that just automatically work. Don't want to give too much away, but there's some fun things coming. However, let's see.
Yes.
Portfolio.
Yeah, cool. It's updated on my side.
Yeah, it's working. It's coming through nicely.
Nice. Perfect.
So, I mean, going through that process of converting your site, like, what are you thinking this could have been better? Like, I would have preferred it if it were like this, or this was not intuitive.
So, of course, this server thing, a bit annoying to just move it here. Yeah, but if you're already aware, it's fine. I think then it's like the view syntax with the column is a bit disturbing at first, but I guess I will just have to get used to it. But on the other side, it's a lot smaller than what we are doing in React with the maps and like this kind of stuff. Every time we have 2 lines more, and we don't need them here because we have this directive, I think you call it.
Yeah. Yeah, view directive.
So yeah, it looks a bit cleaner. But yeah, I mean, everything was pretty straightforward.
I've just done a quick page speed test. So it seems to be coming up okay. So 99 performance.
Cool.
Seems okay, seems pretty good. But to be honest, that is much more to do with you coding the site in the first place than Nuxt. It's not changed, like it's not taking your site from slow to fast, or the other way around.
Yeah, the site is pretty small, so it's kind of normal.
Exactly. But at least it ensures that like nothing has gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah, I really like this API folder when you can like define everything easily. Where was it? Here. So here we're using useFetch. I think there is like a $fetch.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the two?
So useFetch uses $fetch. $fetch is a lower level primitive. So $fetch performs the request when it is invoked, whereas useFetch wraps it and doesn't make the fetch request if it's not needed, for example. It can also be invoked more than once. So in this case, it doesn't really do a lot, but you might have computed variables and you could have it automatically refreshing when things change, or you could have it has an error object that comes back. So you could, if there's an error, you can display that in the template. And most importantly, it stops it needing to be done more than once. So in this case, actually not in this case because this is a server component, but in this case, if it weren't a server component, you use $fetch, then it would actually run that every single time. So it would run it on the server, and then when your page iterated on the client, it would also fetch it again, even though it wasn't needed. So for goodness sake. So basically, it makes your life easier.
And yeah,
really?
of course, the type safety is amazing.
It is nice. I'm glad about that. Yeah.
Because in Nuxt, you have to bring like gRPC or something like that to get the same DX.
And we have plans. We have plans for better things coming.
Yeah.
We plan to have typed. Let's see. Can I do this in? What is it? Just trying to ban a spammer. Go away.
Oh yeah.
Twitch is getting in my way. Okay.
What if I rename this with .post? Does it break here? Oh, do I need the dev server to be running when I update like the API routes to get the types to update?
The are the types not coming through? What's the matter? It wants to be
so you have to have the dev server running to update the types.
If you want them reactively updated, then yes, it needs to be running. Otherwise, you can invoke them by running Nuxt prepare. So you should have, for example, in your in your package.json file, something that lets you, it should just say post install Nuxt prepare or Nuxt prepare, and that will basically generate the types for you, so that your IDE knows everything, but they shouldn't be checked into like Git. So that is basically, you can explore them if you want, like see how they all work, but that's what keeps it up to date.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I think we're pretty much done on converting this website to Nuxt.
Yeah. It's been fun. And the thing is, I bet if you play around with it, you might find some things that you want to change and make better. And I'm really happy to help with that too. But it is nice to be able to like start and finish project. To think, okay, we've done, like we did this thing. We took, and I mean, you had already done all the hard work in that you built the site, created the SaaS, worked on the responsiveness, created images. Like all of that is actually the work of doing it. Whereas the Nuxt is, it's a tool, it's a platform, and so it's in this case it's hosting the site, like it's hosting the thing that you've already made rather than
Yeah, and it's not so different from React or Next, because you always have some kind of use head or it is what is it here? Use SEO meta, which is pretty much the equivalent of exporting a metadata object.
Yeah.
So yes, pretty similar in some points. So yeah, it wasn't too hard.
I didn't show Tom composables, no. So I don't think there were really too much that we needed them for. Like we didn't have shared utility functions, but we could have done that. We could have had some composables.
Just want to see this dev tool thing.
Yeah, the dev tools. So that will do things like show
so
you
cool.
your components, and you can click around. So you can click to a different route, and it will actually change the. Oh, sorry, that's taking you to the. But if you click the other one, it will take you to a different route in your app.
Next.
And
middleware, all right.
Which we don't have. We don't need like logging in or anything like that. But you could do that if you wanted.
Composables.
Yeah, so that's what people were talking about. So they're auto imports basically. Those ones that are used there, most of them will be used internally by Nuxt. But some of them you're using, like that computed is from you.
Yeah.
And
it even shows why I used.
Yeah.
Impressing. Yeah, it's really cool.
And you can see a bit more like your server routes. You could have a look at that too. Yes, Nuxt can be used with Laravel API or whatever API you want to use actually. There's your assets, and it will even display stuff like PDFs and things if you want.
Wow. I love it. Optimize image coming soon. Cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Time config, payload.
So again, nothing really is needed. So that's the HTML that's rendered of your page. It's when you build the app, it's not going to be. One more thing to do. Sorry. Definitely do this before we go because we're not running generate. So this will dramatically improve your performance. So go to your Nuxt config and switch on experimental payload extraction. So you already have the experimental object and you just do payload extraction. True. And that is, so this is normally turned on when you generate your app, but in this case we are pre-rendering it with build. So this will basically yeah, for sure you want to do this. And redeploying for sure. Payload extraction basically means all the data, which in this case includes the server components, can be prefetched in a separate payload rather than needing to be done on demand, which means that your site will feel much snappier if you do it like this.
It loads less stuff upfront.
Yeah.
Is this like this in payload.json?
Yep. And then you also have the island pages being pre-rendered as well. And when the payload is prefetched, it will also load the islands too.
It still works fine. Cool. Let's deploy it. And deploy. Yeah, should be the same. Cool. Oh, the favicon. Oh, here it is. The favicon wasn't rendered, but it is now. Cool. Build analyze.
Oh yes, this will show you what's making up your bundle.
Oh, like a bundle analyzer.
Yeah, and actually, if you're running nrdev to get this, that's maybe you can also run nr nuxi analyze, which is the same thing, but it's going to do it in the background in a separate process, so you can do the same.
Yeah, but it's just really interesting to be on the front end and call something from the terminal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So Reaper, and I love the fact that you did that, and thank you, Sonic Astro. That's very kind.
Well, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
So, okay, so this is showing you the transformation steps that took place to take it from, for example, the like the view single file component to JavaScript. So you can say, okay, what happened?
Oh yeah.
So the view, and then it's transformed by Vite into something that's a little bit different. It looks like this instead. And actually that doesn't give you a whole lot of information because it's just importing from something else, which is also created for you. But basically that's what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what the purpose of this is.
Cool. Oh, we have so much more. Plugins.
Again, those are all built-ins, but you can create your own plugins, things that run on sort of initializing your app, either on server or client side.
Server routes. Oh yeah. Oh. So you can query your API routes in the front end.
Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing. This whole thing is amazing. Yeah, I want the same for Nuxt. So cool.
I think the team working on dev tools sometimes they just think, can it be done? Like honestly, it's oops, I seem to have pinned something. My Twitch chat is very.
Yeah, it's impressive. Oh, different other command palette. Timeline. function call.
Yeah, so again, there's not a lot being called, but you can see all of the composables in your app. You can have a sort of stack trace and what the arguments are.
And how long it takes to compute.
You're not wrong, David.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Storage. Oh, is this using, network storage?
Yep, KV storage. Again, this is the kind of thing that wasn't really being used by your site, but there are some of these things we could probably implement in it. Like we could keep your projects. So for example, those projects could have been in a JSON file that we could have read in using key value storage, which I'm not sure if that would have made a huge difference, but it would have, it could have been like that, rather than inlined in the file.
Yeah, seems a bit overkill for us, but it's cool. I think it's time to commit.
Great.
Remote add origin portfolio, I think. Oh, we're in another branch. Fit convert to Nuxt.
Okay, I would like to see the diff, because it might, a lot of the diff will be pnpm lock file.
Oh,
oh,
yeah, I haven't committed from the main branch. So
Yeah.
can I? Oh, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this.
it would be possible. I think you could probably rebase it on the main branch and
Which one
basically
is main?
just step by step, if you use an interactive rebase, you could probably delete the entire contents before proceeding to the next commit.
Oh,
Oh no. It's more likely that Tom is going to persuade me to convert Nuxt to Rust. That's So if you do it interactively, if you do get rebase -I main, I think you will be able to step into each, to do it before the commit takes. So let's see, what option do you have? So where is it? Actually, that's true. You could do a cherry pick instead. So you have the commit. So instead, you could check out another branch from main, delete everything, and then cherry pick the branch that you. Oh yeah, we need. Yeah.
so I create another branch.
Yep. And then basically just nuke everything. So just remove rf star. I guess you want to keep dot git, but everything else should go.
Yep. readme.
and then commit that, I think.
Oh, I think I removed the retainer. Should probably remove everything. Oh. So where is my retainer? Okay, so GitHub.
And then
and then yeah.
Okay. If you do git log feat convert to Nuxt, the first one, and then copy the hash, and then just do git space cherry dash pick, a double R, and then that. Sorry, cherry with CHERRY. Yep, and I think that should maybe work. And then basically that, I guess, was...
yeah, I'm going to...
Yep.
This one.
And then just do it again, but do it with continue. Git cherry pick dash continue.
Cherry pick dash confirm.
Okay. And then that now has the same commit history.
Cool. Yeah, I've never used this cherry pick command.
I use it all the time. It's so nice, basically, because you can effectively extract a commit from a branch and apply it to a different branch. Because often I'm working on a branch and I make a fix, but the fix is not really related to the thing I'm doing in the branch. So I want to be able to move it and either create a new PR from it or apply it directly to main. Okay, so, oh dear, we've increased your total line count, but I think that's probably the lock file, but still.
Yeah, probably. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know.
If you try git diff stat, that would be interesting. Dash stat. And then we'll have to do it from origin main. So git diff stat. No. So just run the diff stat command again, but at the end say main. Then it will give us a nice little sort of thing. So that's the thing.
From the log file.
Yeah. Although interesting, why is it so much? Anyway, that's something we can look at. I bet it might be the Nuxt image. DevTools is also pretty heavy in terms of some of the things that are included. But that's true. SVGs are included in your project now, and previously the SVGs were separate. But I think they're not a lot of lines.
Oh yeah, it's a big log file. Yeah. So here we have the PR.
And it's the deployment has failed on Vercel. When are we getting a leg on GitHub Action? Oh, there is one, isn't there?
Yeah, there's one, but it's kind of hard to make it work properly.
Oh.
So yeah, we can just skip this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Cool. It has been so much fun, Tom. I'm really glad that we did this.
Let's merge. Here we go. It's done. Migrate to Nuxt. I just take a screenshot of this because it's... Here we go. Amazing. We've migrated.
Yay. Happy days. Well, I bet... well, I'm going to look into that Vercel deployment issue, and we'll see what we can do with that. But But yeah, that's super cool. Thank you everybody for joining. It's really been a pleasure as always. And sorry I didn't get a chance to answer your question, quote, but come again, and I'd love to. And yeah, I think we can say goodbye for today. Is there anyone that people would like to go raid? Let me see if there's any other stream that's kicked off. If folk are still around and want to.
Oh, I Nuxt are with me.
Ah, yes.
I need to worry about that. But yeah, it's fine. We'll do this later.
Is Automod not on for my channel, Heb? Feel free to turn it on. And Alien, hello, welcome. You have caught. Let's go to the bald bearded builder. How does that sound? Let's rate him. I think he's just started. Okay. Everyone, it's been so much fun. And as always, and yes, and I need to go and look after my kid. And Tom needs to go and have dinner and whatever.
But it's been really, really fun.
Yeah, it totally has. Totally has. So everyone, farewell. And my computer's gone weirdly slow. In a second I'll be able to click the button. Unbelievable. I've never seen time so slowly pass. There we go. Okay, people. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Tom, thank you so much.